Tonight, polls predict an election defeat, Malcolm Turnbull's popularity slump and his race against time. A driver tries to explain why he unleashed with a shovel in a road rage attack. A Lint hostage tells how she thought the cafe siege was a TV prank. And Grant Hackett gets some help from another swimming legend in his mission for Olympic gold.
This is Prime7 News at 6:30 with Daniel Gibson.
Good evening. The honeymoon is over for Malcolm Turnbull. The clock now ticking down to an election. The government is behind Labor for the first time since Mr Turnbull took the top job from Tony Abbott. Today, neither was willing to say much about the slump in the polls.
Contemplating an ugly week behind him and a tough day ahead. Malcolm Turnbull's still in demand for selfies, but his once towering popularity is crashing back to earth.
A pregnant woman has had a very lucky escape after her car crashed into a house in Sydney's west. The impact captured on camera, showing how she just missed having a brick balcony fall on top of her.
The impact was captured from two angles. A silver sedan slices across the driveway and slams into a brick pillar, which collapses, luckily breaking in two and falling clear of the car.
Police have just charged a man with the attempted murder of his wife after an alleged hammer attack, which has left her life hanging in the balance. Robin Fraley remains on life support with severe head injuries. Her 4 daughters and relatives are praying that she pulls through. Her husband Robert spent the night in Liverpool Hospital and was moved to Green Valley Police Station earlier today, where he was charged. It's been revealed police were called to their home in recent weeks after Robert threatened to harm himself. An investigation into a cancer treatment scandal at Sydney's St Vincent Hospital has found 23 patients died after being prescribed lower than recommended doses of chemotherapy. An interim report has found the hospital made misleading statements and showed no sense of urgency after the scandal first came to light in February. Dr John Greigel gave 78 patients the same flat dosage of a chemo drug. A third of those patients have died from cancer, although the inquiry hasn't made a direct link to their dosage. The report found staff challenged Dr Greigel's methods as early as 2005. It's recommended the hospital educate staff about key policies. Coming up, the moment a car crash left a teenager buried underneath supermarket shelves, plus the curious boy who went missing down a well. We'll show you how they set him free. A teenage shop worker is lucky to be alive after he was hit by a 4-wheel drive that crashed into a Townsville supermarket. Security camera video shows the moment the car ploughed through the shop front and buried the 15-year-old under shelves of food.
All the shelving came down on top of me and I thought, all right, now everyone just has to dig me out.
And they did. Incredibly, the teenager only suffered minor injuries. Finance now, and falls in energy, mining and banking stocks saw the share market tumble today as the Reserve Bank kept official interest rates on hold at 2% for another month. The All Ords dropped nearly 70 points. Ratings agency Moody's has maintained its Baa3 credit rating of Origin Energy. And as we flip the page to the dollar, there it is, it's dropped below 76 US cents. Just ahead, on the outer last year, the Manly players who are back in favour under Trent Barrett. And we'll head to Augusta as the world number one, in fact our world number one, targets his maiden green jacket. They're the big men that Manly didn't want, but prop forwards Brent Lawrence and Josh Starling have responded in a big way. On the outer just a few months ago, now they're outshining some star recruits.
The old and the new have collided at Manly, and for some, the fallout was painful.
Jarryd Hayne has returned to the San Francisco 49ers headquarters for the team's first training session of the year. It was also his first chance to meet with new coach Chip Kelly. Hayne's Australian trainers say the former rugby league star made some pretty big gains during his time when he was back home.
He has a unique skill set. There aren't a lot of guys who can make people miss in the open field, and that's a very valuable commodity in the NFL.
But he could have an anxious wait, though, ahead. The final 53-man playing roster won't be finalised until just before the season starts in September. Still to come, the Duchess of York's message for Aussie women as she arrives down under, and all of your national weather details. Brian's taken this one at Rutherglen again. If you've got a weather shot, We'd love to see it. Yeah, it's time for a check of the weather now with Kenny Heatley. And mate, it looks like it's going to be warm and pretty windy across the state tomorrow.
Yes, Daniel, nailed it. What we are seeing is a fairly strong gusty front that is coming in from the west. It is bringing some wet weather into southern parts of South Australia at the moment. A cooler southwesterly change in behind it. We've got strengthening northerly winds ahead of it, and there's a severe weather warning out for the Snowy Mountains for tomorrow for damaging wind gusts, particularly at the higher peaks. We could see some very, very strong winds indeed. And because of the northerly winds, warmer temperatures, going to be dry as well. Gusty conditions with a southerly change in the afternoon, and you've got severe fire dangers for the lower central west plains, so keep that in mind as well. Total fire bans in place. And there's that front moving through, producing some showers, mostly in Victoria. Some rain there for southern parts and Tasmania as well, clearing pretty quickly here. And there's that strengthening northerly, changing to a southwesterly, that southerly rolling up the coastline. By we look at Thursday, stalling on the mid-north coast. And by Friday, you can see some blue patches there with some cloud. That's going to drag in some showers, but mostly for eastern areas. And there's likely to be some thunderstorms. And of course, we're heading into a cooler weekend. But for tomorrow, temperatures above the average, and we're looking at some pretty warm stuff as well. Mid-30s in places, above the average for this time of year. 34 in Dubbo, 32 in Wagga. Could see some light showers close to the Victorian border throughout the day as that front comes through. So 29 degrees and sunny, 34 degrees in Western Sydney. Rain for Melbourne though, it is going to be quite wet there, and 17 degrees, feeling cool. And Daniel, sunny over the next couple of days in Brisbane. Looking good. See you later.
Thanks, Kenny. Appreciate that. Well, the Duchess of York has arrived in Sydney for her first visit in 13 years. Sarah Ferguson is here to help out her sister Jane, who's the Corporate Relations Chief at the Macquarie Graduate School of Management. Fergie's the keynote speaker for an address to women in business, and she's also hosting a high tea with Alan Jones. And that is your news for this Tuesday, the 5th of April. Thanks so much again for your company. I'm Daniel Gibson. Till I see you again, have a great night, won't you? Bye for now.